Hey guys, and welcome to episode 12 of FTB University, and I've been doing some stuff. Notice there's some pipes running in here. Alright, I've been getting prepared to finish off Immersive Engineering this episode, because I think it's going to be cool to move on to something else. So looking at the quests, I finished off like this breaker switch, which we might use in a minute, because we kind of need to. Transformer is just for stepping down power. You can either go like MV to low V, so medium voltage to low voltage, or medium voltage to high voltage, or high voltage to medium voltage, which could be handy because high voltage electrocutes you. So you can step it down to medium voltage if that's what you need, and if it's insulated you won't die all the time. And then I've just finished off other bits and pieces, and we've just got the multi-blocks. This is a new quest from the update, which has just been installed here. I haven't actually made this, so the quest completed by itself. Covered conveyor belts just means you can walk over the conveyor belts and you won't pick up the items, which would be handy. Here I have all the components for each of these multi-blocks, so we're going to finish them off. Before we get into that, I've also done some tidying up of our biodiesel system. So we got a bunch of garden closures. These all are feeding into the central line, going to an item router. This item router is splitting things off in three directions, so we're ending up with a basic drawer filled with this stuff, the plant fiber, which, to be fair, we're at 300 stacks out of 1,000, so this is going to fill up kind of quickly. I mean, I have been doing a bit in between episodes, obviously, but yeah. We're backstuffing on ethanol, and we're backstuffing on plant oil. Still making more plant oil than we are ethanol, even though I had another couple of these, set up, and yeah, we're going to end up with stuff just piling up here because, yeah, it's backstuffed. We have a full tank of biodiesel. We got some power storage. Yep, just a bunch of cells. Now, essentially, kind of the layout is power comes in, transfers down to each one of these. This one's transferring across to this one and then back up the top, and this is kind of the output one. This one's empty because this generator's not running at the moment. And he's filling up these couple of capacitors. But then I'm connecting the wires up here, so we get the power everywhere. There's asphalt everywhere. I reckon this looks better. This looks kind of tidier. We'll go down and have a look. I don't think there's anything else up here. I want to set up this breaker switch, and I want to connect it to kind of this line so I can turn off all of these machines. Until our back stuff of biodiesel's gone, because otherwise we're going to end up making a bit of lag with all the items that just pile up here. I could convert this guy to run on biodiesel as well. He's got a full tank of regular diesel, and I may do that. So I don't know if we're making enough to run 2 diesel generators. Not sure. But let's have a look down here. There's a lot of these samples everywhere. I was trying to find copper. I found coal, which also includes diamonds and emeralds, which is kind of cool, but I just haven't found copper anywhere, which is unfortunate. And if you want to know what's in each deposit that you can find, it's actually in this book. In these mineral deposits. So you can find out somewhere, here. So like bauxite veins, which we did find one, does give you rutile, which is cool. Cassiterite just gives you tin. Coal gives you a little bit of diamond and a little bit of emerald. Mostly coal, which could actually be handy. I may whip up another couple of excavators. I say whip up, it's a lot of steel. Yeah, I really wanted to find a copper vein, but I haven't found one yet. I found a couple of these actually, so we could get heaps of sand, gravel, and silt, which is cool. But yeah, that's that stuff. I think I've sorted the fluid routing problem from the distillation tower. Now this looks like a mess, but it seems to work pretty well. So, without showing you how I made it step by step, essentially what we've got is all three fluids come into this guy. And he sends out this one, just lubricant, and this pipe is connected to the lubricant tank. He sends the other two fluids, and I'm specifically telling them where to go, because if you don't tell them where to go, they end up in a random slot, which I think is where we were running into problems. So diesel and gasoline are coming into this fluid router. He is sending the, I think, diesel. He's sending the diesel out this way into the diesel tank. I think that's the diesel tank one. And probably the most important bit is we're sending lubricant back out the top. So lubricant isn't supposed to get past this guy, but if somehow it does make it into this guy, it's going to come out and back into him. Cool. And then I've sort of done the same up here. So he's sending diesel out the blue one, which I think is this back one. So diesel's coming back into the one that's supposed to deal with diesel, and lubricant's coming back out the top, back into this guy. Yeah, and then the gasoline is going into our gasoline tank, which is full, so I put another fluid trash can here, because we're getting too much. So yeah, I think this is kind of a good way to deal with it. A little bit messy, at the same time kind of looks cool, apart from the fact that the pipes do this weird thing where it says they're not connected when they are. Yeah, so I think that brings us up to date with everything I've done in between episodes. And that's just so this episode we can finish off Immersive Engineering. We've also got the conveyor belt running all the way straight to the crusher. So we can just turn on our excavator, or it comes out, and yeah, goes all the way into our crusher. And yeah, just sort of some general tidying with the pipes, somewhat. Yeah, a little bit messy, but I think it's a lot better than it was. And yeah, I kind of like this idea of he's been digging in the hole. Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. I'm never happy with what I build, but I think this has turned out all right. So, what I want to do first is I want to be able to turn off this section of machines over here. I'm not sure the best way to do it. I was connecting this guy this way. I think it might be better to go here, because this is going to always be on. But this guy I don't always want to be on. So yeah, if we can put the breaker switch in this line somehow, and I'm not sure how this guy actually works. Assuming like power goes in one way. Now, can you just connect it straight? And it makes that noise. Let's have a quick power nap. And luckily we have a couple of HV wire connectors. Now do these just... Is that how this works? That doesn't look very good. So it's kind of like a redstone signal. I don't know if this actually works. So if we turn you off, you have no power. Turn you on, you still have no power. So that's not how this guy goes. Let's look in our quest book. Add the breaker switch. A breaker switch can have wires connected to either side and will only allow power through them when it is activated. Yes, but it kind of doesn't appear to be working. Is it that you can't have HV wires? You can't have HV wires on a breaker switch. That's a pain. That's a pain. Alright, well, yeah, cool, but annoying that you can't use it with MV. Which, to be fair, we could step this power down using this transformer and go from HV to MV. Like, being able to turn all of these machines off would be the go. And I suppose we can. If we simply remove this wire. And that wire. So then he'll still get power to crush up what's left. He's going to still get power to crush up what's left. And eventually these guys are going to run out of power. Yeah, because we've got a big back stuff. Now we could make some big tanks. But yeah. We could spend a lot more time. And we'll just leave these here. So that we can easily reconnect that when we need to. Alright, but let's get on with assembling these last few multi-block structures. Now this might be kind of rushed, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay. We've done a lot. So, arc furnace. And thinking about the arc furnace, we are going to want some coal coke. Because we need it for making the graphite electrodes. We'll just get these guys going while we do other stuff. Okay, so this should be everything we need for an arc furnace. So I broke down one of our blast furnaces, which I think's fine because the arc furnace can make steel as well. And, you know, seeing as how we have HV power running along here, let's set up our arc furnace in this room. Now this guy looks kind of big. And I think these pipes are going to be in the way. So I don't want to do that, perhaps. Let's extend out this building a little bit. Just because I don't want to have to move pipes. So if we were looking more like here, maybe back another one. And I think this should be okay. What's above this? Stuff we don't really want to move. We'll try it, and if I have to move stuff, I will. So, yeah, this kind of takes a lot of resources. Yeah, we'll whip this guy up. Yeah, you've seen this sort of stuff before. Just use the projector and put the blocks where it tells you to. Alright, okay, so it wasn't as big as I thought. It probably would have been fine, actually, with the pipes, but that's cool. That's cool. And we will just do that. And hey, that's not too bad. And we assemble this guy. Somewhere. Oh, did I make this backwards? I have a feeling. I made the machine backwards. Yep. Back in a moment. Alright, so this is the front of the machine. And you right click on that bit. Cool. So we need to get, I suspect, HV power here. And the safest way to do that, and we can now tidy this up because I think this guy will fit in here. And I think it might be best just to run them along here. Ooh, maybe not that low. Actually, yeah, that'll be safer. I'm going to need to be careful with this. I'm going to want to wear some actual armor soon. Oh, we need another couple of them. I don't think I've got any. Oh, just enough. Right click him. And we can send power to this guy, and he can go over to this guy. And it should be HP power in our arc furnace. Nice. Cool. Now, this guy needs graphite electrodes. Which needs these HOP graphite ingots, which comes from HOP graphite dust, which we get from coke dust, which we get from the thing. Yeah, so we just need our industrial squeezer. Now we have an industrial squeezer. Unfortunately, he's filled with industrial hemp seeds. He's got power because we wanted him to have power all the time. Yeah, okay. Let's just biff these here. Grab some coal coke. That'll go into our crusher, which we can speed up with some lubricant. And while we're waiting, let's process some of the stuff that we've got. Right, so there's our coke dust. And we should be able to just chuck this in our squeezer. And the item output... Oh, we got 2 hop graphite dust. Now, I think we need more than that. Because 4 makes 1. Okay, we need a bunch more than that. Alright. I don't think this is going to be enough, unfortunately. But okay. While he's doing his thing, let's set up one of these other machines we've got. So arc furnace is done. Nice. Got an assembler. Automatic workbench. The lightning rod. Let's set up the lightning rod. Now we're going to have to wait for there to be an actual lightning storm. But I was thinking on top of a hill. Now we could go up here. I think up here we're going to see it more often. So let's put him up the top of this hill. Now technically we're going to want to run the power from him down the hill. But I'm not going to do that just for now. I don't really think that lightning is the most reliable source of power. Sorry, Mr. Sheep. I don't think this guy's massive. Here. Now we need our HV capacitors, and these have all got different inputs. I was playing around, setting up that big power bank thing we have set up down there. But alright, HV coil block. These are scaffolds. Alright, easy. And hey. And that's cool. And I did see in the quest rewards for this guy, we get steel fences. And now these steel fences and a pole centered on the lightning rod increase the chance of it being struck. So that's really nice that, oh man. Really nice that we get some of that as a quest reward. Probably makes sense to only come up to the clouds. I mean, I know the lightning doesn't actually come from the clouds, but yeah, and then we'll... I think you can do something like this. And I don't know if there's a limit of how big you can make this, you know, if you're trying to go for the most efficiency, but you're still relying on there being lightning, which, when that old, oh dear, Somnia mod was in the pack. This is gonna hurt. When the Somnia mod was still in the pack, it ran quite often because you couldn't actually sleep through the night properly. But it does. Sleeping doesn't really seem sleeping in beds with the sleep charm kind of seems to skip rain most of the time. But yeah, hopefully we'll see this get hit with lightning at some point. Next time it rains, we'll just wait around and hope it's a storm. I mean, yeah, it kind of looks cool. Alright, so hopefully we got some coke dust. And hopefully we get a couple more. We need 3 ingots in total, I think. Well, it's 4 ingots make 1 graphite electrode. We need a lot. Need a lot more coal coke. Okay, so lightning rod done. And I see we got quest reward for the arc furnace. We got an oak chest plus NBT. So I wonder, does this have... It's got slag in it. Why would I want... Oh, you get sand from slag. Okay, well, thank you for the slag. I was hoping that was going to have graphite electrodes in it. Okay, so, yeah, that's them. Got the Automated Engineer's Workbench. To be fair, we could replace our regular Engineer's Workbench. I mean, this bit, oh, there's some coal. And to be fair, he's not that big. So probably didn't need to break the wall. Yeah, you can go there. What's in here? Nothing. Cool. And looking at it, I think I made it backwards again. I think that's the front. I mean, let's check. Let's check before I just assume. But it would make sense to me. Now, why don't you like that? Seems like the recipe's a little bit bung. Now the fact is not... Oh! No, there we go. Yeah, this really looks like the front. So yeah, this looks kind of cool. So I assume we just put like our engineer's blueprint. And you set him to make any of these components. So if we set him to make these iron mechanical components, and really I think what you want to do is like have a big line with conveyor belts, and it just happens to be sending him stuff. I mean, to be fair, I don't know why you'd need that many of these things. Like, it would be cool to set up like a bunch of iron mechanical components, but unless you're playing in a pack with changed recipes, where maybe you need like heaps of them for making stuff you need to make all the time, probably not worth it. And, oops. Yeah, I kind of tried making this easier to use, but it's a bit of a pain. So he's got power, I think, yeah. So if he's got these in here, we've got this recipe selected. Checking the components. Hey, out comes the thing you want. So yeah, cool. Again, we don't really need it in this pack, but handy to know that that's a thing. Cool, so that's that guy set up. and yeah, we probably won't use them heaps, but that's cool. That's cool. So we've done our automated engineering workbench. Nice. We've just got our assembler and our bottling machine to go. And we should have maybe some coal coke. Nice. Alright, I'll just set up our... I'll build without assembling our assembler and our bottling machine, and we'll be back. Alright, you'll notice I have a graphite electrode, but it only has an integrity of 50%. That is because if you make it using the press, that's all you get, is a half durability electrode, which isn't ideal. The way to get a 100% integrity electrode, and by the way, you can enchant these with unbreaking, which is cool. The way to get a 100% efficiency, integrity, is to use a engineer's workbench. So I've just got the arc furnace electrodes pattern in here, and yeah, I mean you can do it just with the manual one, but hey, let's use this guy, which to be fair is slower, but at least it's automatic. Yeah, not really handy at the moment. Alright, we got 2 electrodes. Now I think this guy can run with just 2. I just want to see this work. So we check what nickel in here. 0%. I think we might need all 3 graphite electrodes. Or does this need a switch to turn them on? I'm going to say yes, we need 3 electrodes. Okay. Well, while we're waiting for that coal coke to exist, which is, yeah, it's going to take a while. We're filling up these tanks. I did assemble the last 2 things we need, I believe, to finish off Immersive Engineering. So we got our fluid pump, not fluid pump, oops. Right click the central conveyor. But if I do that, it... Interesting. Right, we'll assemble this dude first then. Oh, okay. So it looks like he can only go one way. Cool. So we have an assembler, and I mean, looking at it, it seems like you'd put in a recipe. That's got tanks. Cool. So this guy, you'd essentially put in recipes you want to craft. So say I want to make chests. And then if we put some wood in here and gave him power, he should craft chests. Which, I mean, we might be able to get away with LV power. We've kind of got it kind of in this room. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah. We'll oops. We'll just do LV power for these. I don't think we need to. I mean, HV power's right there. No, we'll just do LV. We've got it here. Nice. And now I think you'd probably have like conveyors set up, and then you could chuck in like some planks. Oh, and chests ended up there. Okay. I don't know why it didn't output. Maybe you need to extract. Cool. Yeah, but that's how that guy works. Nice. Pretty simple. And our bottling machine. Well, I'm pretty sure we just pump a fluid into one of these inputs. And then you can like put a tank in there. Assuming like you'd chuck a tank on this. He'd go in here, he'd get filled with the whatever fluid you're pumping into this. So like we could be storing diesel if we wanted in containers. I don't know if we really want to do that. Could be handy for gasoline. But again, we're probably not going to use that ourselves. But hey, we got our Immersive Engineering trophy. Nice. Even though we didn't actually make these conveyor belts. But hey, I mean, yeah. And we have finished one chapter. This has been cool. This has been cool. Now, I'll probably set up a trophy room somewhere. I don't know where. For now, you live there. We'll sort that in the future. And it would be cool to get this guy to go. I don't know if we're going to have... these haven't finished. Yeah, we'll use this arc furnace once we can. I think we need another electrode. But hey, we did it. We did it. Well, guys, 12 episodes in, and we've finished one chapter. Kind of had the idea of finishing all the chapters, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. People might get bored of the pack before then. I might get bored of the pack before then. But yeah, as for the mod we're moving on to next, I know there's been some interest in exploring mechanism. Mostly for the ore quadrupling and possibly quintupling, I think you can do. I don't know if that's like an add-on that's not always in mechanism or not. But I think we're going to take a break from tech for a little bit. I was thinking about doing forestry, but like the bee breeding and the tree breeding, I think we'll give that. That's going to be in the future as well. I think the next mod we want to look into is going to be Thorncraft. There's a lot of cool stuff there that I've never played with. It's going to be very different to Immersive Engineering. It's still kind of got multi-block structures. Like the art's quite cool for it, and it's something I haven't played around with a lot. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot to Thorncraft as well. So that's the plan for now. We might jump around in between mods a bit more from now on, but we'll see how we go. So this has been ClassicDuff. You've been watching the episode. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.